Good morning, horrible human beings. The Pooh Bear vs. Buck episode. And you gotta say the Buck just like that. So, where this come from, since I started doing these videos and I did one on my good brother that was, the episode was about fighting. So, years ago, we were all in the play. We were all in Job Corps up in Pittsburgh. And while I met my good brother Mel up there from DC, there was I'm even understand the story. So the breakdown of Job Corps was, it was in the city of Pittsburgh. It was the majority. At any given time, you're gonna have 15 to 22 DC guys, and it's going to be equal to 15 to 22, maybe 25 Philadelphia guys. There's going to be maybe 10 Virginia guys. You're going to have a few Jersey, a few New York. Every now and then you get somebody from New York, and Baltimore will always be there. And the deepest Baltimore would be 5. I even want to say 6, but then I'm including our females. But then again, our females went extremely hard, so that we was a nice thorough little 5. So for the most part, DC and Baltimore don't never really get along out in the world because we so different, even though we ain't nothing but 25 minutes apart from each other. But up there, we were cool. Everybody was cool. That little regional thing didn't exist. And for a lot of us, it was the first time coming across Philadelphia dudes and learning about their culture and their style, whatever. But it was always a thing with DC and Philly, because their numbers was about even. But really, they whole style about being fresh and being thorough. They actually married each other in a lot of aspects, so that always was something. But one thing that you had different, this one don't like this one. Like anywhere you go, people don't like people. This one beefing with this one's smack this one. A lot of funny stories about that one being smacked. But one thing that stuck out with everybody was that Pittsburgh, since we all was in the city of Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh dudes who used to go there, they was their own thing too. And they all looked at us like, well, these are out of towners. So I don't care if you're from Philly, DC, Baltimore, Virginia, Trenton, New Jersey, it don't make a difference. It was them against us. Now, in reality, when you cool with people, you get, it don't make it. We cool with the Pittsburgh guys. You can go through their hood with them, and vice versa. That's just how it is when you a certain caliber of brothers. Genuine. Respect genuine. But on this particular day, this young man that I'm talking about, Pooh had a brother named Purnell. Purnell was a real smooth, cool dude from DC. He'd throw his hands too, from Southeast. And he was up there at the time that my main man Mel was there. So after a little bit of time went past, Purnell little brother, Pooh came up there. So Pooh came up there. The thing is, we always young. Maybe we like 19, 20. I think I turned 21 up there. So I know maybe I'm 20 years old. But Pooh was 16. The thing about Pooh he was cool dude. He was funny. I always remember Pooh always laughing, but also always fighting. And that brother was always fighting. Ain't no other way to say it. Especially in the beginning, but you gotta remember he was a young dude, and he had the heart of 10 men, even at 16. I want to say Pooh maybe was 5. I'm gonna get that brother 5'9" at the time, maybe 5'9", 5'10". Let's put him at 220, 225, maybe, give or take. But he was cool. But Pooh was cool with everybody. He was cool with the DC boys, and really was cool with everybody. When they got into that stupid city versus city thing, it took certain caliber of folks that could have relationships to calm things down. And once Pooh got there and established himself, he became, his brother already was established, and everybody, to one extent or another, was friends and hung out. So a lot of problems could be squashed like that. But some people just wasn't dealing with other people. But anyway, this is the story about Pooh versus Buck. But it's really the story about maturity and brotherhood. So the one thing about Pooh, though, Pooh have a short temper. He got a great sense of humor and a short goddamn temper. And any little perceived disrespect or any slight, Pooh ready to go. He not ready to talk. He ain't ready to argue. He ain't ready to get loud. He ready to fight right there. Right then. Right then. No way. His microphone stayed broke. There's no rap. No rap. And matter of fact, I can hear him in my voice. I can hear him in my head now saying, "Jump out there. Jump out there." But he was only 16. So for what I can't remember what caused this, but so the guys working the facility was all Pittsburgh guys. And when I say guys, we was all kids, but these was like grown men. So these men was in their 30s, their 40s, and their 50s. At the time, it was a guy in the cafeteria who was cool for the most part with everybody through the time, named Buck. But I say his name like that because, Buck had the most penitentiary, even back then, you knew, you like, man, this nigga just came home. What's up, Buck? Morning, Buck, what you eat? The nigga was just mad forceful, like he just got off the yard 17 minutes before he came to scoop the food on your plate. But Buck was cool, though. That's the thing. So, and a majority of us up there, everybody was out in the street to a certain degree. So Buck wasn't nothing brand new, but Buck wasn't for play neither. Buck was a grown ass man. He was, I can't remember exactly how much time he did. I want to say it's between like 12 and I don't think it was quite 20 years. But Buck did all that. All I remember is one day coming out I'm coming out the main building, but at that time I'm smoking cigarettes. We call them thugs. If you know, you know. I'm coming out the building and everybody just, it's early in the morning, almost like any big apartment building where everybody coming out and talking, laughing, getting the day getting started. But I see Pooh Bear walking. Man, Pooh Bear got the one Pooh fight walk going on. I said, oh shit, anything could have happened. Yo could have lost that checkers or some shit. You don't know what's going on, but I said, Pooh got it on his face scrunched up, and Pooh ready to go. Like I said, there ain't no whole bunch of rap, ain't no bunch of talk. So, and I'm looking at everybody else come, and then I hear go Buck. I don't care, I don't give a damn. What you say? Man, I can't even imitate Buck. That's just ridiculous. Buck deep ass penitentiary baritone. So then you get the sense that something happened with Pooh and Buck, and for the life of me, I want to say maybe it was over Pooh girl. I can't remember what started it between them, but I do remember that this was the thing. Buck wasn't backing down. Buck wasn't backing down at all. He ain't playing no games, and as now, I'm a grown man. I'm not playing games with no kids neither. But Pooh wasn't backing down. And Pooh was a kid, but like I said, he had the heart. He had the heart of 10 men. He wasn't backing down. And to this day, looking back on it, even if and Pooh had his brother there, and it wasn't just about his brother, but he had his brothers there. So it wasn't gonna get nasty. But Pooh, the thing was, Pooh wasn't looking for nobody to help him. He wasn't looking for his big brother to come. He wasn't looking for none of us to come. Pooh was dead serious. Like I said, I caught him with the one. I think he was walking to the back of the building where you could get it on. Wasn't no cameras. And I know Pooh had a mouth on him, so I can only imagine, especially the 16-year-old Pooh, ridiculous. I can imagine all of the. He don't got much rap, but I can imagine the bitches he might have called Buck. And mind you, Buck is coming from about 6'4", 6'5", 270 at the least. So Buck coming back crazy. Buck ready to go, and whatever happened, Buck snapped. So now, all right, Buck, all right, young Buck, that's what you want. That's what the fuck you want. Come on. So now you got all of the chuck-a-luck, a junkie worker who was cool with everybody. the Pittsburgh boys, everybody realized this about to be bad because first, if Pooh and Buck get to fighting, Buck dead serious, and I don't really think it would have been it wasn't going to be a fair, it wouldn't have been a fair fight. But then it would have turned into something else because Buck would have ended up really getting hurt because other guys would have jumped in. We wasn't no slouches too. We might have been kids, but it was some. We had some. Damn near everybody was thorough, but we had some big boys too. Shout out to Doughboy from Baltimore. Get your story up on here. But what I noticed was even the Pittsburgh dudes who ain't like the DC dudes, and especially ain't like Pooh. I think Pooh had whipped one of their ass or two of their asses in his just getting up there. But even they had came out to stop it. And the crazy, why I call it the beautiful episode or the unity, because I seen guys from other cities. Listen, Baltimore mess with everybody, but really DC don't deal with Philly, vice versa. But everybody came together, and I'm talking about everybody who was somebody. The men of a certain caliber came to try to talk. I know Purnell came out there, try to talk Pooh Bear, like, come on, yo, let that go, and to talk to Buck. I can remember Doughboy went to talk to Buck to let cooler heads prevail because that was going to be nasty up there. And like I say, Pooh wasn't backing down. Even if I think in his heart he might have knew I'm not going to come out on the end of this, I'm still going through with it, like a real soldier. I'm still going through with it, and I ain't asking nobody for nothing. But like I said, that thing would have turned bad because ain't no. I can tell you off the top, Purnell wasn't letting his little brother get done, especially the man only 16. But I watched men calm that down and be able to, and men who don't even mess with each other, calm all of it down, speak to them, and stop. And believe it or not, the next day it wasn't even no lingering thing because I think Buck realized he too old to be going through that. Buck too old to be going through that. You about to fight a kid, and you definitely gonna lose your job. You might have got hurt, but also on the other end, we playing with a man you don't play with. Well, I ain't saying we playing with him, but Pooh getting in a situation with that dude. Now you don't know he got little nephews, everybody who is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 up there, and that's a dangerous spot to be in because you ain't got nothing up there. You ain't got nothing but the people you know in that center, and definitely people was getting done and dealt with up there from the Pittsburgh people. But I watched that come, and what made me think of all of this was when I told that original story about my other homeboy, I actually ended up getting in contact with Pooh, and I had told the brother, yo, you know, I'm proud to see you here. Family man, working, taking care of his family like a real man should. But like I said, if you would have known Pooh when he was 16, everybody don't get to make it to be 18, 20, 25, 30, or older than 30. Especially coming from where them brothers come, and especially with that type of warrior heart. Cause that and that's up there. When you come back home, you come back to your natural streets that you grew up in or that you ran every day. That's when the real situations and the obstacles come. But to talk to that brother as a grown man raising his family, you know, buying his home and staying out the way, I genuinely was proud of him. And talking to him made me think of Pooh versus Buck. Gotta say it like that. And I had to ask him, could I tell a story? Because now that I think about it, we got a whole bunch of other stories, but that was a story about, I want to say, the folly of youth and wisdom all at the same time, and unity with brothers. Pooh versus Buck up PJTC, Pittsburgh Job Corps. Y'all be safe. Horrible human beings. Pooh Bear versus Buck.